I did not know much about Anne Frank, except I saw part of the movie about the little girl, so I can't help you with anything about Anne Frank. I I was I was 19 years old when I was captured. I had joined the army during the time that we were engaged in war with the Germans. I was a draftee. I was drafted. Was the reason I was uh, in the army. I was captured uh, by the Germans after we crossed the Moselle River, and it was just before the Battle of the Bulge. I was in the prison camp about 5.5 months. The most we worried about was getting food and hoping that the war would be over as soon as possible so we could get back home to our families. We were not treated very well. We had to sleep on wooden boards or on dirt floors. They didn't give us very much food. We had a cup of coffee for breakfast, a cup of coffee for lunch, and a slice of bread. And for dinner, we had a cup of coffee and some very thin and dirty soup. I was landed at Omaha Beach, and we went up on Omaha Beach up through Nancy and Metz and engaged the Germans along that route till we came to Metz, where we stayed for about 6 weeks trying to get through Metz, and then we finally got through Metz. And no, there was no way of communicating with any prisoners other than the ones that were in our camp. I have thought about going back many times. I would like to go back to Omaha where I landed, but it cost so much to go back, and I just never had the opportunity to go back. While we were in the prison camp, we were always thinking of getting out. We were always kept away from the front lines and away from American troops so we wouldn't be released. But eventually, when the war was almost over, I was released on April 13th. I believe that was the day President Roosevelt died. Before we went in combat and landed at Omaha Beach, I don't think we changed our lifestyle, but we certainly did a lot of praying, and we didn't do much talking. We were all very quiet. We were all young kids and scared to death. I guess the way my life changed was I didn't have to have as much regimentation like you did in the Army. You had to do what you were told. When I got out, I had to go out on my own, get a job and work, get married, and take care of children. I think all wars are bad, and I don't like wars, and I hope they never have a war. I never saw the inside of a concentration camp, but I did see the outside, the entrances to concentration camps. And no, I never met anyone that was hiding from the Germans. I'll tell you a little bit more about what happened to me. I was in the 359th Infantry, the 90th Division, 3rd Army with General Patton. The company that I was in landed on D-Day at Omaha Beach, and I was a replacement, landed about a month later. And I was in a prison camp called Arbet Arman. And I worked in a stone quarry. They made us break rocks at a stone quarry called Shellendis. And I was in the Stalag 7A in a town called Lindbergh and Stalag 3A at Luckenwald. And I was captured on December the 16th, 1944, where my platoon had captured a German pillbox. And then we were surrounded by the Germans and captured 5 days later. And the Germans kept moving us from one place to another place as the American troops kept advancing on the Germans and taking different towns. They would walk us from early in the morning to late at night for days at a time without hardly any food. So maybe this will help you a little bit.